whatever it takes to close the deal. I just being honest about it, the right way. And I have no shortcut. Everything is, in my life, I never have any shortcut yet. So I earn everything. So it's a good way. It's been a good way, being honest, no shortcut, do whatever protocol is. Then, sometimes it takes longer to get there, but, at least the right way of getting there.
Welcome to the Bias for Action podcast with your host, Michael Fang. With a PhD in applied physics focusing on quantum computing and a number of years in long-distance running, I hope to give listeners a chance to go behind the scenes of high performers across a wide range of disciplines and perspectives. Uncovering the mindset and habits of those who strive to be the best will help you improve your life and accomplish your goals with actionable advice. Thavee is a marathon runner, real estate investor, succulent enthusiast, and benevolent friend of mine. After running non-competitively for most of his life, Thavee dove into serious marathon training in his mid-40s. For the last 10 years, he has shared his love and passion for running with many in LA. I hope you enjoy our conversation and gain some perspective on what it takes to enjoy running in the long run. All right, today on the show, we have Thavee. Thavee, how are you doing today?
Awesome.
So Thavee, how do you pronounce your last name for those that don't know how to pronounce it?
All right. Pretty simple. Ready?
Yeah.
It's Nantarojanaporn.
Nantarojanaporn.
Correct.
Okay. Now people know. Okay, so let's start off with a very simple but very deep question. What does running mean to you?
Running mean to me was more like get away from everything. Just get away from, my daily life, my, whatever I do, a bad day, good day. Running kind of like get me to a next level of finding myself again. That's running mean to me. It's not about how much mile I do, how much race I do, how much, it's nothing. I mean, to me, just get away from everything. Like, that moment just, it's my time, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. And how has running gotten easy for you as you've gotten older, and how has it gotten harder for you?
Well, at my age, I mentioned, to me, I learned a lot, become easier in a certain way, and become a certain way is really hard because, it just the workout become really hard as we try to get faster at an older age. It seemed really difficult beginning, but throughout the cycle, after the third, 4 week, it's your body get used to it. But overall, it's harder as like the older guy. I always call him. I'm the older guy, But overall, it's not as bad as long as I get going,
And what is your age as of today?
I'll be 54.
54.
October.
And how long have you been running seriously then?
I've been running all my life since high school, just for fun, do a lot of pretty much 5K, 10K, just fun thing, just hang out with friends. But far as competing wise, just maybe the last 10 years.
So you were in your mid-40s.
Yeah.
And you thought to yourself, I want to start running seriously now.
Yep.
How did you come to that decision?
I don't know. It just seemed like everybody, like my age guy, like I knew I could run a lot faster than those guys if I trained harder, But I'm like, not yet, And just throughout the year, like, okay, I could run faster. Let's try, And go, well, definitely I could run a lot faster than this old guy.
So how did you make sure that, while in your mid-40s, you started training harder, but preventing yourself from getting, injured and making sure that you were recovering properly?
Well, I look back, I think I don't know much about recovery. I was just running, like, okay, just run fast you can, just kept going, don't know much about like, what's the proper way of training. Like just so newbie to become like raising term wise, like what I gotta do, like why they run so fast, why I can't run so fast. I could do it for a couple of days, and the next 2 days I'm like, shit, I'm in pain. I feel like the 40 really hit me hard, but I don't know any better back then too.
You're also trying to keep up with the younger guys, right?
Exactly. Or the young guy try to keep up with me nowadays.
So when you started training seriously, what training programs did you follow? What training groups did you decide to join first?
Well, originally I came across, they called it back in the day, NRC, the Nike Run Club. I met some amazing people throughout this run club, That's how I got started, actually. I got one of my good friends, actually, she got me started. Since I do run a little bit, walk a little bit, spin a little bit throughout, throughout my career, as far as, hobby-wise. And that's how I discovered running through the NRC, Nike Run Club.
And isn't Nike Run Club in Santa Monica?
Well, actually, the Nike Run Club LA is what started.
And then what happened to what's followed, which was, the more serious training program that happens in Santa Monica called the Lab?
Well, I met Blue's the NRC head coach, and amazing guy, awesome runner himself. Just met him, like I just kind of got talked to him a little bit and go, man, what I got to do to run faster, and what can you do to help me run faster? That's when the Lab came about. He created, they call it the Lab, which is, you train to run faster, help you run faster, and in blue style. But that's how I get started, through the Lab program.
Mm-hmm. And what was the biggest thing that kept you going through that program? Because that program is known for really difficult training plans. What was the mental aspect that helped you get through such a hard workout?
It's just those athletes that I get to hang out with that just have one concept. They out there try to work their ass off, and they just keep motivating each other each time we out there. Like, even through when you feel like shit, when the time you get there, like, okay, you mentally have to change, switch from feel like shit, go, well, get ready, because you get, my job was to try to keep up with the varsity, the big boys, my, back then that was me, how I prepare myself, go to the Lab, just try to keep up. As long as they're in my sight, I'm doing well. I know I can't beat them, but overall, I just gotta keep them, keep them their head, keep them in front of me. Otherwise, I'm okay with that. I respect my age. That's why I learned throughout the last 10 years, I'm decent for my age, but in the same token, I'm just want to make sure I don't want to get hurt. But, running is such a fragile, little thing could happen. I gone through injury. I learned, you learn a lot throughout running. You could be a perfect 16-week, and then the next run you go out, you go, oh, fudge, something hurt. And just like 16 weeks, it kind of gone to waste, But it's part of learning, running, to me, that's all about.
And what have you learned from life that you've applied to running? And what have you learned from running that you applied to life?
To me, it's just being, toughness, mentally, it's going to be tough, a certain day you because it's, like say overall, the weather, the cold, the heat, the rain, you deal with it because, you don't know what can happen during the race day. You train through every element, That was one of my things that I learned throughout running. You got to go out there no matter what condition out there. You can't expect the race day going to be perfect weather, We all wish could have that happen, but, you don't know what's going to happen. that's how I look at it. Just gonna go out there. Like all those athletes I trained with, are all this amazing runner. They just keep pushing you. We all like pushing forward to see each other the next day. Like next morning, the next Saturday. But even though you feel like shit that after that workout, but we all have amazing. Like I said, I have amazing running community around me. Just I learned a lot from beginner to the pro. Like you just pick their brain. That's how I learned running.
You got your degree in education.
I just majored in finance.
Oh, finance. Yeah. And then what did you do with that finance degree?
Well, I worked for, I won't mention the company name. I work in the retail. I did all the setup, for the store for many years, and just get tired of it. Just, working different shift, 10-hour shift, 11-hour shift. Like, oh man, this is just not, I don't want to do, but it was good pay. Back then it was just, being single, making decent money, like, okay, just continue doing it. But years after year, take a toll on you, like, just, I can't do this no more, and just try to look for something else, just go online, like, man, I took going to real estate. That's how I, got into real estate.
I feel like we skipped over something because you did mention that you worked at an architecture firm. So when was that?
Well, my major was finance architecture. I did intern for about 9 months. And this particular project came along, and I kind of like, hey, boss, what do you think of doing this? I keep submitting it, and he go, well, by the way, you work for me. It's only my way or no way. And I continue to submit, my project. He go like, you know what? I'm going to give you the last warning. My way or no way? And he said, nope, don't ever do it again. And then next thing I know, I go, well, if I can practice what I learned in school, what's the purpose of being here? And I just looked, when a couple weeks went by, like, God, this career is not for me. I can't express how I feel or what I think it's going to look like. That's the reason, and that's why I pretty much like, oh God, this is not my career. I better think of something out. I just switched career, just went on to a different thing take a break for like 6-7 months to like, wow, all the time I went to school for this, I can't express my, my opinion, my view, my idea. Nope. But I was an intern too, so.
Mm-hmm. So how did you feel about, having to switch a career? Did you feel like you were in trouble or did you feel like, oh, everything's going to be okay? I can always, pick myself back up, learn something new and try something else.
I don't know. I would just kind of go with the flow, whatever would come, we'll see, give it a shot, give it a year, see what's, future can hold. But I didn't pay much attention to what's going to happen. It's just like, screw it. Just whatever happened. And from there, I was just like pretty much taking a break.
Yeah.
Like, God, I got in school for nothing pretty much,
So when you took that break, is that when you realized, hey, let's apply for a real estate license?
Yeah. I actually, a couple of friends of mine doing real estate kind of introduced me to it. They go like, just come do real estate with us. I'm like, I don't know shit about real estate. He go like, well, first, you get your license and we'll go from there.
How much did you like real estate compared to, your old jobs? Did you find it more, enjoyable?
Oh, it's two different worlds, It's just day and night, You pretty much, I'm pretty much a people person. It's make life easier for me too, That's how I noticed like, oh God, I could talk to people, At least I'm being honest about, what I'm doing, I don't have to be BS about it. It's what I do, I could have done a lot of things different way, but at this point right now, I'm happy where I'm at, Not complaining, trust me.
Yeah.
I have the best boss in the world.
So when you say do things differently, do you mean do things differently from a career perspective or doing things differently during your career?
Doing my college, choose my career wise, you know. I mean, I always loved architect, but when you get to a big world, it's totally different element. It's not what I picture to be in, at all. It's totally different. Like you working with for someone else, and your opinion don't count pretty much. Yeah, but it's not. That's not. I don't think that's how architecture work in my views.
What did you find so appealing about architecture? Was it the building? Was it design?
It's just building design. That's like say especially in Chicago. I fell in love with architect when I went to Chicago. See a bunch of the building of different style back in the day. I'm like, God, I could draw that building. I could draw that house. And different styles. That's how I fell in love with architect when I was young and like doing like 10th grader, 10, 11, like, God, I could do that. And I fell in love with it. But in the real life, it don't even come close to what I expect to be.
Sure. But you must have at least been able to stay connected with that, right? As a real estate agent, you're constantly looking at, different houses with each of their own different architecture. So that must have at least given you some sort of, way to keep
somewhat
in touch.
background. I knew a little bit detail about architect, the floor plan, the plumbing, all this little thing like, the electrical outlet, all everything, how the bathroom work, how, pretty much, the floor plan. Some people, can't explain what floor plan is, but, at least I could I know what's like living room should be, or kitchen should be. The sun should hit certain way, a little minor thing you pick up during architect.
And so as a real estate agent, how many, people were you able to meet? Because I know that you're not only a people person, but you're great at maintaining relationships. So what kind of relationships were you able to maintain and grow as a real estate agent?
Well, doing doing the real estate, I think the way I look at it, first of all, you got to be honest about what you're doing. People gonna realize that you do this for a living. You can't give away free stuff. I'm upfront about it. How much I'm gonna make. Like people gonna have to know. People don't want nothing behind the scene. I'm pretty much frank about it. I'm doing this for a living, and at the same time, I will take care of you. Whatever it takes to close the deal. I'm just being honest about it. The right way, and I have no shortcut. Everything is in my life. I never have any shortcut yet, so I earn everything. So it's a good way. It's been a good way. Being honest, no shortcut. Do whatever protocol is. Then sometimes it takes longer to get there, but at least the right way of getting there. And being in the it's like you can't be a shady person to be in real estate, but I'll leave that as is. A lot of people do what I do.
So let's talk about how you met your current boss. How did that come about, and what was going on in your life at that point?
Well, I play a lot of golf. Better yet, let me back it up a little bit. I'm a better golf than running. People laugh at me. I'm a better golf than I'm a runner.
So when did you pick up golfing then?
I've been in golf since in junior high school. My uncle is a good golfer. I just went hang out with him. Just how he always pick me up and go somewhere and let's go play golf. It's how I pick up golf since 7th grader. I learned how to play golf when I was 7th grader. Just being around my uncle,
And what do you get out of running that you don't get out of golfing? What makes it so different?
The differences was they're both pretty much almost the same thing. You could play golf by yourself. You could run by yourself. The game what taught you about golf is you have to be the character. If you pay attention to a lot of golf, the character tell you a lot of who they are. Golf, you can't cheat. You pretty much you count everything. You total score. You miss hit it, you count as a hit. Same thing running. It's no shortcut. You gotta whatever it take that day to do it. You do it. You run it. There's no shortcut. That's how I always tell people. God, those two combinations been kind of like really helped me. Who I am every day. Running and golfing. Is pretty much parallel together. But my uncle was probably the best gift he could give to me, besides teach me how to smoke cigar when I was 8th grader. Second best thing.
So why do you spend so much more time running than golfing then?
Well, I think the last 6 years I run more because I met some, for example, I met amazing friend around me. It's just one of those things that kept me going. It's so much to learn. Running, it's learning every day. You think you know something, you know shit. And you always ask questions. I'm always trying to play like a dumbass guy. To ask more questions than know everything. I don't know. At this point, I still don't know a lot of things about running. I would say I probably claim I know 75% of running. That's it. But it seemed like I knew a lot, but I don't. It's so much to learn. I learn. I learn from people surround me. Learn from you. Learn from among my friends. Little thing, just you pick up. Why they run faster than me. Beside the age, why?
Yeah.
I never look at the age will stop me from what I'm doing. Doesn't bother me at all. But just a lot of things just kept me going. Just people surround me. That's what kept me going until this point. Without them, I wouldn't know what I'm doing right now. Without run community or an amazing friend I have around here, amazing friend like you, people that I run with, they just kept me going every day. They're always a down day to me, but it's always you talk to someone, they know I just click, okay, I could do it. Today, this morning, first time I slept in a long time. And I woke up oh, shoot, I got to get my mile in. And next thing you know, God, I'm so tired. And next thing you know, I saw a friend, at the Rose Bowl, and next thing you know, okay, I'm ready. It just take you to a different level. Certain people that you hang out with definitely take me to a different level of running.
That's actually kind of surprising because at least, from my naive perspective as someone who doesn't golf, you also can meet pretty, affluent and well-known people through golfing as well. Is it a little different in that kind of world?
Not much different. Not much different at all. It's just because golf is one of those, you met through different people competing wise too. You go out and compete. You met different level of, competition wise. You met the good golfer, you met shitty golfer, and hopefully you'll blend in somewhere. Just the whole thing is just being out there, having fun. If you're not having fun what you're doing, don't do it. To me, there's always been same thing, golfing and running. As much swearing myself, sometimes I'm running long distance, I got to do 16, 17, God, man, I got to do 16 today, and I still love what I'm doing. That's why I continue to run and continue to play golf. I'm fortunate I have two hobbies that I could just, make a phone call. I could I could go golf with somebody. I could make a phone call. I could go run with somebody, and still fit in, without getting kicked out or reject,
So going back to meeting your current boss during golfing, how do you land a job from going golfing with someone?
Well, when I used to go golf at this private golf course, and I met Bob. my, which is my current boss' father. So I play golf there. I used to caddy there, and that's how I met Bob. And we just clicked, Just he asked me, "Do I play golf?" I go, "I try to."
You're being modest.
Yeah, I try to, and then I go like, "Why don't you come out and play golf with me one day?" I was like, "Oh, sure. I don't want to embarrass anybody." And that's how I met, like Bob. And he go, "Wow, you're a good golfer." I go, like I say, I try to. That's how I met Bob, and I met the current boss, Kevin. Like I say, they both, the family, everyone play golf.
And how does, working in that sort of environment compare to your other jobs?
Oh, it's just totally different. Just two different worlds,
So you got three different worlds
Yeah.
now.
I don't know. I didn't even at this point, I didn't even have the answer. I'm just like, I'm blessed to what I'm doing every day. I'm blessed. Like, I'm around amazing friend, family I got.
And I guess, you've met so many interesting people throughout your years. And one thing that you've always been good about is, making sure that you're checking up on your old friends. And I know that, for many people, it's hard to keep in touch for so many years, especially, from people decades ago, from childhood and whatever. But you seem to be able to just remember, like, oh, there's that guy. Let's see how he's doing. Do you think that's a natural gift, or do you have a system in place where you can make sure you can always keep connected?
I think it's a natural gift. I learned that from my mom. My mom probably, big part of my mom is one of those caring person. My mom always give more than take. So always she taught me, just always look out for everyone. Even through we don't have nothing, but it's always been caring person. That's how I learned from my mom. My mom is a single parent. My mom is a one tough woman. I would mess with her, back in the younger day. I always joke around. I go, "Mom, back in the day, we have a child abuse hotline. You'd be in jail every weekend." But I learned, I think part of gifted and part of being with my mom, definitely. That's part of me, who I am every day, just make sure everyone okay, that part of being part of my life too. Always check on everyone from through junior high school. Some have some junior high friends that I still commute. High school, I still email back and forth, text, with all this modern, communication we got. It's so easy, like Facebook and everything else, and I'll make sure they're okay. It's been my thing throughout my career too, make sure everyone's okay. I'm just doing my part,
Yeah.
Yep.
And throughout these years, you've been golfing, you've been running, you've been in all these industries. At the end of the day, have you thought about or realized, like, why? What is the meaning of all this? Why are we running? Why do we do what we do?
Good question. I think beside, try to stay healthy, definitely as part of my, my daily life routine. Try to stay healthy, be clean, no drug, learn how to drink a little bit, but just stay healthy. That's my main key. I always told myself, especially the last 5-6 years, I go like, my goal was to run the Boston the next 10 years in a row before I turn 60. I would like to be there at Boston for next 6 years in a row, at least. And I set my goal pretty high, but I'm pretty sure I can accomplish that. It's not as hard. It's not hard to me, at least on my mind, but my body tells me a different thing. Every morning, like, I gotta do this. Just work out. But yeah, that was my goal. Just next 6 years, I want to be running Boston.
Is it something that you at one point did not think was possible, and now that
Yeah, definitely. At one point, I go, God, running is so hard. And like, and you're like, at my age, like, God, in the 40, how am I gonna go to Boston? I can't run that fast. You're like, okay, you just take a baby step, and like I say, just take one day at a time, don't, I can't think ahead, look, what's gonna happen and tomorrow, just baby step,
What does your routine look like? You talked about getting out of the bed this morning late, but I'm sure you have a very, well-established routine that helps you recover, helps you get prepared for the next day. What does your morning look like? What does your evening look like?
Well, I can't miss my coffee. Coffee is like my life, pretty much, I try to get at least 7 hours sleep, try to, try to eat clean as much as I can, beside eating donut next to me. But pretty much my routine is day in and day out, same thing. First thing, gotta have my coffee, and I'm try to, little meditating, clear my mind, just, in the evening too. And just not much changed the last, I think, my routine, I've been doing this for the last 10 years, 10 plus year. My routine haven't changed at all. Like a creature habit, just stick with a routine. What's good for you, don't break it. That's how I look at it,
If you were to go back 10 years to your 40s, what would you give yourself or someone of that age a key piece of advice to set themselves up for the next 10 years?
My best advice I could give, I go back, I would say, like say, you got to do whatever you're doing, you got to love what you're doing first, okay? Sometimes it's not about the money. It's nice to have extra money, but you have to love what you're doing. And then believe in it, and surround yourself with, the people definitely, the good people going to motivate you daily. They're going to keep you accountable, and it's always the positive thing coming out with the positive people. And it's always go to anything in life, who you hang out with, a lot to do with who you are. The character going to be around you, like say, the people I hang out with, they sometimes we make each other look good, not just them. As a group, as a community, you make yourself blend in, the whole community look good. Like say you hang out with negative, you can get a negative feedback. You hang out with positive people, that's how, that's how I look at it in life. Stay positive, believe what you're doing, be, always be good to people, even though they treat you like shit. They just got, be you, everything all about you. If they're gonna like it, oh well. Might always tell people, if they don't like you, well, too bad. Your fucking loss, not mine. I'm not gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too old to change. I'm not. I don't kiss ass. I let you my boss. Only a person I need to kiss ass to. Otherwise, y'all get kiss my ass more than anything else.
And go back another 10 years to your 30s. What would you tell them, again, a piece of advice for the next 20 years to prepare themselves?
Was always, family to me. I think, as I'm still single, but I have a lot of friends as a family. Family will come first. Everything else will follow. Like I said, anything good that you think that along the way, stick with it. The people will understand you. Be around you even through in a shitty day, the bad day, even though you don't talk to them years and years. But the good one will be just ready, just, like I say, hang out when time is right. They always have, hand out, reach out, whatever out there, just like I said, family, find yourself a small group of friends, stick with it. You don't have to have, 1,000 friends. All you need, good 10 friends. I'll make up for those 1,000 friends. That's how I look at it, because it's all, I and the funny thing is I know so many people. Like sometimes I feel like I know too many people, but that's part of my job is networking. But it's a good and bad, it being part of it. But overall, like I say, family always come first. Take care of your family. The good friend will be around you no matter what. They'll be around. That's how I look at life. Just always do good too, and the good will come around. You know, I got no time for shitty people. You're wasting my time.
And finally, last but not least, what would you give to someone in my age range? They're their 20s. What would you tell them to set themselves up for the next 30 years, especially when they're just starting their career?
My piece of advice to the young generation, like say, definitely, I'm gonna keep saying like broken record, but this family is the most key. Make sure that you take care, your parent. That's my main thing. Take care of your parent, take care of your family, and everything will come along. That's my key advice to a lot of new generations. Seem like they distance themselves from the parent, even through you became adult, but the parent, the mom or dad, they give you life for so many years. They put bend backward, forward to raise you, and you could do the same thing for them. Family is always, some people believe in whatever religious they are. Continue to what you believe in, but I would just say over and over, family is a key thing. Keep your friend, find a good friend. Just keep up with it. Don't. We all have a bad day. We all have a shitty day. We all gonna say different opinion, but the good friend always gonna listen to you and give you advice in front of you, not behind you. They're gonna talk shit. They're gonna talk shit in front of you. Like I'd rather take that than someone talk shit behind you. If I screw or something, please come up and tell me, criticize me or critic me. Like Thavee, whatever I did wrong, it's not right. But at least I could adjust from there. That's how I look at life. Opinion to a new generation. Take care of your parent. Main thing is just they give you life for this time. You should do the same thing for them. They might not hear longer. What are you gonna do? That's always been my go-to. Through all my lifespan, I've been here on Earth. Just taking care of people. It's nothing more than like passing forward. Do a little thing. Don't have to be nothing big. Just a little thing. Continue doing daily, every day, little thing at a time. Don't need recognition. Just do it. Especially come to like family, and go out your way. You need to go out your way to take care of them. But everything else, do whatever. Be happy and have fun with it. Not every day be perfect day, but at least try to make it worth it. That's how I look at life. I don't let nothing bother me as much. I'm too old to worry too much in a token way. Just I do what I do. You don't like what I do? Oh well, I'm sorry. You always could just look different way or walk different way.
Do you think that as you've gotten older, you've started thinking less about what can I do for myself and more about what you can do with others? Or has that always been a trait of yours?
I think it's been with me all my life. Just you always need to take care of yourself, because if you can't take care of yourself, you can't go out and take care of someone else. Maintain. You make sure, like I say, stay healthy. Keep your head up. Keep your chin up. And be positive about everything, and everything else, you just gotta, whatever happened. Just do your part. People have to do their part. We all in this together, not just you. Some people that think they live here, they think all about themselves. No, it's everyone out surround you, a lot to do with it too.
So let's change gears a little bit and switch to something more lighthearted. Can you tell everyone what sexy pace means?
Well, I could go back. This is how go back to 7 years ago. Well, no, actually, 60 or 7 years ago, back in the day when the NRC started, you know, the sexy pace term came along when you can run fast, but you look good. That's all back in the day. We just, you can't keep up with the big boy, but you dress well. And you dress well, you have the right clothes on, and, but you run slow. That's term of sexy pace back in the day. That's why I called them, you run slow, but you look good,
And for those that aren't acquainted with talking to you, Thavee, what does the word JV mean to you?
Well, JV, okay, it just kind of like, to me, it's like a joke around, like in high school, you have so many level of, freshman, JV, and varsity, the way people define them was freshman, you just newcomer. Fresh juniors mean you make the team. Varsity mean you on the, you are pretty much a badass, that's how I look at it, and to me, JV just a term of just joke around, just try to be funny about it, but there's no meaning, just a joke, people look at different way, and among friends, I could call Jen and Victor. To me, it's just a term I use, joke around, but I'm sure everybody knew where they're at, like you're a JV or freshman or varsity or, throughout my, joke around, people should know what's JV mean if you hang out with me long enough. It's just a joke, nothing more than that. People take it personally. I hope not, but just a funny term to me. Who know how we came up with that, but I guess sometimes, just for a moment, you come up with a certain term like don't make no sense.
Mm-hmm. So we're going to come to the end here. And what I like to do at the end is a quick fire round where I ask you a series of questions and you say the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay.
Okay. Do you work hard or play hard?
Work hard.
Do you enjoy the process or the reward?
Process.
During your runs, do you like to listen to music, podcasts, or neither?
At this current point, I could do all three.
Okay. What is your favorite running brand, clothing-wise?
Far as, I'm going to do a little breakdown. Clothes-wise, Nike, still good. Shoes, definitely Hoka, that I've been, running with it. Just kind of like injury-free to me. What helped me, at staying healthy at this point.
And what was your hardest or toughest run?
The hardest, toughest run. When I try to keep up with all you guys.
So every weekend?
Almost every weekend. That's why I call myself JV.
And since you like to run with Hoka, what is your favorite Hoka running shoe and least favorite Hoka running shoe?
Well, the current one I wear to train would be the Carbon X. I don't have many worse one, but the latest worst one is a Clifton 6.
A little too soft.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what is your favorite post-run meal?
Oh, come on. You know the answer. Everybody should know the answer by now.
You should point to it.
Coffee and donut,
Yep.
But beside coffee and donut, definitely acai bowl. That would be the go-to nowadays. Mm-hmm. Try to stay a little more healthy side.
And finally, what book, podcast, or new episode of something would you recommend everyone give a chance to try or listen to?
Well, I just listen to a lot of the meditating stuff. I don't, podcasts, I care less as much because I don't have time to listen to stuff. I got my thing, my daily life is busy as it is. I have no time to do anything else. I try to keep up my routine. I'm sorry, I don't have any current one in mind. I mean, this is probably the first time I do a podcast with you.
Yeah. And that was the episode. You can find Thavee on Instagram at Tavster1one. You can also find him on Strava with his name Thavee. And thank you.
Thank you, Michael.